I lay there gently rocking to the waves, lapping against the boat, gazing under the brim of my hat up into the sky. Out of the corner of my eye, I glimpsed a dark silhouette high in the sky, contrasted sharply against the crisp blue background. I lazily tilt my head to the side, observing a bald eagle soaring at dizzying heights. I wondered to myself what the world would look like from such a height, and decided that if I could be any animal, an eagle would be the way to go. A second later, I hear the most classic Northwoods sound there is. A nearby loon has also spotted our bald-headed friend. The loon's cry echoes across the lake, alerting her family and friends to watch her young. Death lurks above. A gentle breeze produces the soothing rustle of aspen leaves on the trees on shore nearby. I allow my heavy eyelids to slide closed and drift into a peaceful, trance-like state. This is an example of a typical day up north in my youth, one of hundreds. I've been blessed to have a cabin since I was little. When I was 6, my parents bought a small fixer-upper cabin on Lake Placid in Hayward, about 5 hours north of Madison. We had that lovely little cabin for 12 years, and just a few years ago sold it and bought a new cabin on Middle Eau Claire Lake, which is 20 minutes north of Hayward. And here's a picture of our old cabin, and this is one of our new cabin. Our new cabin is obviously beautiful, but it just doesn't have that same Northwoods cabin-y feel and woody, mothbally smell that can only come from years of sitting in the forest. Summers at the cabin consisted of fishing, campfires, fish fries and cookouts with relatives, and games with family and friends. I always wanted to go over to Johnny's. I'm sure the two of us have had hundreds of sleepovers together. As kids, our days would be spent trading baseball cards, swimming, having home run derbies in his backyard, and staying up late watching movies. As we got older and more interested in sports and athletics, our days involved 2-hour mountain bike rides, golfing, trail running, and kayaking. I also learned to ski with John and Uncle Greg on the very same lake that my mother and aunt and uncles did when they were teenagers. My mom grew up on a resort on the lake, and my grandma ran the resort until she sold the lodge when I was only 11. And some of my most treasured memories of my past are being up at the lodge with all of our family and relatives, both in the summer and especially at Christmas time. Which leads me to the reason I decided to talk about up north and the cabin for this speech. When I think about my childhood, the first memories that pop into my head are of time spent up north at the cabin. Northwoods is now fully in my bloodstream. During winter in the city, I find myself longing to be rolling along a trail on a mountain bike, breathing in the fresh smell of pine, or sitting on a beach on Lake Superior, listening to the sound of waves lapping the shore. A Native American by the name of Chief Standing Bear said, "Man's heart away from nature grows hard." As I sit in traffic in the city, watching people arguing on their phones or yelling at cars around them, and then get home to hear all the terrible and depressing things that have happened on the news today, I think perhaps Chief Standing Bear was right. There's something very soothing and rejuvenating about being back in a primitive, natural setting. The cabin means something a little bit different to everyone in my family, and we each enjoy it in our own way. To Dad, it's mostly about the fishing, and he also enjoys putching around outside and in the garage. To Mom, the cabin provides an opportunity to see her family and to shop for decorations for the cabin, even though we couldn't possibly use any more. To my 19-year-old brother Luke, the cabin is a place to play board games with family and friends and to do some reading. For myself, I enjoy the wilderness and the natural beauty while being active outdoors, be it biking, running, hunting, or kayaking. But I think the main focus really for all of us is spending quality time together as a family without work, TV, schools, and crowds in a beautiful natural setting. I hope to have more summers up north at the cabin with my family, and I hope terms like the cabin and up north will be everyday words for my future children as well.